Hi and welcome back, class, to another work watching where I go through the process of one of my commercial projects. Today I'll be telling you about how I approach preparing and creating my online classes. I've done a little bit on that in past streams of this series where I go through the editing process and some of the structural project file setup workflow things, and today is going to be kind of like a script writing uh, stage of the online class creation process. So basically this is where I kind of go through the project that I want to create the class on and write down each step so that when I'm screen recording and when I'm audio recording the steps of the online class, all the little lessons that are going to be exported as lessons for the internets, for various platforms where I put my online classes on. So I don't forget what I want to say, and so I don't skip a step so that all the steps line up, and that's what I'll be showing you today. I hope you enjoy that. Before we get going, if you like this content, please give it a like and subscribe to my channels or follow depending on the platform where you're at. You'd support me with that a lot, and if you'd like to become a patron on Patreon, you can do that as well via the link down here. Okay, let's jump right in. This is where we're at, and I'll just check the chat. All right, we are all set up and ready to go. All right, so my most recent class series, it's a 3-part series on creating motion graphics templates, and the class, the first part, is already online, and you can find that. I haven't prepared the website for that, but you can find that on the classes.sonjageracsek.me, and I'll share that link in the chat as well. You can click on that, and that will take you to my website where you can find all of those classes. And as I said, the first part is already online and it focuses on title templates. And the second part will be a lower third in the same style as the title template. So I'll just show you what that looks like. I'm going to mute the sound. But basically, the style is like this. Oh, the internet is very slow right now. So this is the first part, the second part is this, and so we're creating motion graphics templates and parts of a template that you could use in your video to kind of snazz up your video, to make it look more professional, give it some transitions if you're doing a documentary or maybe a reportage or a talking head, as some people also may know it from or for or under. You sometimes need a little title thing for the person that's talking. So that's what a lower third is, if you didn't know what that meant. And I've created these motion graphics templates for Adobe stock. You can purchase them as MoGurts. But I'm also, for those that would like to learn how to do that, I've created this class series. Oh, I just realized that my hair tie has exploded and is falling apart. Very sad. Okay, I'm gonna fix that and I'll be right back. That was the wrong button. I need to change. I've just created hotkeys for all of the different scenes that I have in OBS. Very exciting. I'm getting pro at this streaming thing, only now I need to actually remember the hotkeys. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, back we are. Here we go. All right, so what I usually do is if I've already created the project before, and since this class, sorry, I had a little bit of chocolate, so now I'm trying to swallow it. So what I usually do is if the project already exists, like this, this lower third, I go into the project, I bring it into one of my kind of test project files. I bring it in and I open it up and I kind of investigate what was done here and how I need to proceed for the class. So I can see that there is some turbulence displacement. I think that's going to be, if I'm going to include that in the class, because there isn't always time to include everything in the class, so I don't, in the title template class, I didn't, for example, include the turbulence displacement, which gives it kind of this like wiggle effect on the outside of this title. So since I don't always have the time to show everything in a class because it would make it too long, or just it's a style effect that maybe not everybody wants to have, etc., etc. There are multiple reasons I don't include it. And I also don't remember if I actually included this like drop shadow thing. I'm gonna have to check that. So anyway, this is what I'm trying to figure out at this stage of my class creation. So I think the first thing I did is actually take the title animation, which is this. Oh, okay. At this stage, it wasn't finished yet. Okay, so I have the title. Tell you what I'll do. I'll go into my class folder and I have the project files here. And I also have the project files from the previous class, and I'm going to go in there and I'm going to pull out the final thing. Yeah, so this should have the final animation that I'm showing in the previous class in it, the project. I'm going to paste it in here and I'm going to pull it into this project as a project, like this. Actually, I'll just put it in here. This whole project is not going to be used in the class. It's just for me to take notes. So it doesn't actually matter if I'm, you know, being messy and just dragging things around. So it doesn't matter. Cool. Now I'm going to open this up and I'm going to go inside, and this is what this template actually looks like. So this is, so there isn't actually that drop shadow. So I'm going to base this new thing, okay, I'm going to delete that. I'm going to base the first steps on the previous template. So since I'm trying to make this class for people who are following the whole series, but also for people who are only going to take this specific class, I want to include that project file. So I'm going to go into my notes. And first, I think it's just setting up the composition, and then I'm going to write some notes. Let me check. I was thinking of opening the previous file, but I don't have that in here. So actually, there's always a specific thing that I say in the beginning of each class to kind of introduce the class and introduce what the first thing we're going to do is. So I'm just going to take inspiration from my previous class, and I should going in here. Oh no. Where's the script? No. Well, that's not good. There should be a folder with all the scripts in here, which there isn't. And that is not good. Because that means I don't know where my scripts are. Oh no. Oh no, what have I done? Okay, so this is also a thing that I'm going to now have to figure out. Well, the scripts are not in here anymore because I duplicated this. Oh, this is very bad. I mean, most of this is recoverable because I have the audio files and I have some of this uploaded to some platforms, some of the text, so I can recover that, but I can't recover this because if I've deleted it, then, well, that's not good. That's so strange, but what happened with that? It has to be here, doesn't it? I don't have anything left in here. That's so strange. I mean, I have the text of these, like the chapter description, class project, and so on, but I don't have the scripts left of... Oh, I know what I can do. And this is why I always recommend anyone... I'll be right back. To make regular backups, because I'm pretty sure I backed this up onto my hard drive at some point. So hopefully, and this is the loud noise that you're hearing now. That's my hard drive. Okay, so let's see. I should be able to go here, go to my backup. Oh, I so hope I backed this up recently. Okay, it's here. Oh, but that script file is still not in there. That's not good, you guys. I know this is not part of the stream that I anticipated, but you know, resolving lost files is part of the process, unfortunately. Script files of this one are in here. Conflicted copy. Okay, let's see, maybe they are in my recycling bin, but I'm pretty sure I quite recently emptied this, so it's not looking good. This is where I took a bunch of screenshots of previous projects to use in my case studies, and yep, before that there's nothing. Oh, here. But these are only the AME files. So these are the files that I deleted from the previous class because I don't need them. Unfortunately, the script files are not in here, and I have a very bad feeling that what I did is copy the script files, but instead of actually copying them, I cut them out of the previous class, copied them, pasted them into the new class, and that way the files got lost. Damn. Well, that's not good. Well, that now shows me not to rely on Dropbox to keep my files. One option now would be to check if I can get my Dropbox files back, but I still have a free version of Dropbox because I don't keep everything on Dropbox. And that means I do not probably have the versioning that you usually get with Dropbox. So let's see. Let's go to Dropbox. Okay, deleted files. No. Nothing that is old enough. Really depends on when did I delete this, on the 20th of October, so that doesn't even fall into that time frame. Let's see if I can go into this and rewind the folder. Let's see if that's possible. Nope, that's exactly what I thought. Rewind is probably an additional thing that I need to purchase. Yep. Okay, well, I guess I don't have those notes anymore. But actually, I created this file today and I deleted the things. No, I don't want to undo this. Cancel. Well, I don't want to do that. I want to undo only this. So, okay, so these are all my notes from the previous file. So I'm just going to save that out as a script file for the previous class, since those scripts are now lost. And this is the only one that doesn't live online somewhere. So that's really the one that I need to keep. I wonder what happened to all those scripts. Weird. Okay, so this is class 7. Alright, well, it is what it is. I'll delete all of the rest of the stuff. Okay, so, finally, we can continue. I'm going to turn off my hard drive because it's super loud. Okay, goodbye hard drive. Alright, so taking you through a detour of file versioning and backup. So there's a lesson learned for you. Even if you keep files on drives, back them up somewhere, back them up on a hard drive, because you might run into the same problem as me where you accidentally delete a file, and of course if you had an issue with your computer, the file would still be there. But if you manually delete it and don't have versioning turned on or paid for from that provider, well, there's just nothing you can do. It's just gone. Okay, so let's start. I probably want to start with something like, if you've taken the first part. This class is based on the previous part of this. This class is based on the previous part of this class series. If you have taken that class, go ahead and use the project file from that class. If you haven't, you can download the assets needed in the project description. No, it's not the project description, it's the... So I primarily target Skillshare for my classes, and that's my primary platform, but I do upload to Udemy and a few others as well. But basically it's projects and resources. And this is usually where you can then also download the resources. So okay, so, but I want to keep the language open so that I can still upload the class to other platforms. So I don't want to use directly point to projects and resources, although in the video I also show that portion, but still I want to keep the language open. So this class is based on the previous part of this class series. If you have taken that class, go ahead and use the project file you created in that class. If you haven't, you can download the assets needed from the resources. I'll just say resources because that's still applicable to other platforms. Okay, now now I want to say that the composition you're go ahead and create a new composition with the following settings. HDTV 1080p 25 with a square pixel aspect ratio and a frame rate of... Oh no! I'm making changes to that original file again from the other script. So now I need to resave this as the new script, yes. And this previous one, I'm going to open that to take wrong folder to take inspiration from. So we're going in here. No, I already saved it? No, I didn't. Okay, great. All right, so now settings and the frame rate of okay, this is the frame rate. Okay, so then I copy this as well because I want to keep that in here as well. So because in here I'm now telling the student, okay, go ahead and create a new composition, and you want to name the composition as well. So I want that to be one of the steps. So create composition, name T underscore lower third, and then I want this. And it's preset. So I always write it this way so that I can go step by step and check. I have this open on my tablet when I'm recording, so I can check that I did all of the steps. So create comp, name this, and actually I'm going to, just because I don't want these to get too long, it always removes this. If I remove it, then I can no longer add it to somewhere else if I cut it. Okay, so, ugh, come on. Copy, paste, damn it. Start time code, 000. I want to remove this because I want this to be step by step. Duration, copy. Actually, maybe I can cut it. Yeah, okay. So, duration. So first, I always write down in bold what I want to say word for word. Sometimes I'm still talking while I'm doing these things sometimes, but when I want to say something complicated, I want to write it down so that I don't keep saying the sentence wrong or misinformation or swap out words. Sometimes I say Illustrator instead of After Effects and vice versa. So sometimes I want to have a script that needs to be read exactly as written because I've already had time to think about it and to make it the most clear. So those are these blocks in red, and all of the other ones are just steps that I need to take. So you click Create Comp. Actually, most of the time I also say what I do, right click, click, control click, and so on. So click Create Comp. And that's a step, and then name T underscore lower third. I can copy this actually and paste it in here. So I name it lower third. Then I'm going to use the preset HDTV 1080p 25, which gives me these presets, square pixels. This is automatic. That's just something that is part of this preset, so I don't need to click on this, but I've mentioned it before just in case. Now, I usually start my compositions at 59 minutes and have the duration to be 1 minute and then however long I want the animation to be so that I can push things backwards and not lose sight of them. I would, things disappear if you start at the very zero. They disappear when you push them back. And if you want to push something back but still see it, you have to move everything forward. And then your start timecode doesn't, or the timecode doesn't match up with the rendered file because you are then setting the start of your animation further down the line. It's a whole thing. So I don't like doing that, so usually I start with 59 minutes so that my animation actually starts at 1 hour, but it pretends to be at 0. And so this is how I set up my animation compositions usually. But for templates, it's better to go the traditional way because it's like a compact thing. It doesn't work when you have additional space. It needs to be exactly the size that your template is going to be. So you don't want any additional frames. And then, the start time code, the duration, and then that's basically it. That's the composition created. Now let's go in. What else do I need? Comp. Open comp. Shift and end. Yeah, this was just a note because I explained why I had the composition at 8 seconds and 1 frame. But I think I will leave that out of this explanation. Okay, now at this stage we would copy paste. So at this stage I would include the previous project in this one. So I would go in here and I would say maybe create a folder. So this is just create a folder, click create new folder. Click create new folder. Rename, actually enter assets. So that means I'm going in here, creating a new folder, calling it assets, and then Control I to import. All plus I import title template project file. And then you would import that, and I've already done that, which means I'm going to take the main, just going to drag it in here. So let's pretend I just imported that. Actually, it's not the main that I need, it's the actual, it's the the T title is what I need. That's my asset now. Whoops. And now I go in. Actually, I just realized I don't need to create a new composition, because I can just change this to become that composition. Okay, so let's go back. Let's not create a new composition. You can download the assets needed from the resources. Let's import that project file, the title template project file, and in that case, I will just say we will keep the composition settings the same, including the duration of 8 seconds in 1 frame. So now in this case, I'm going to remove, oh, I think I did something where I can't see the, oh no, I've changed the view somehow. Headings? Ah, yeah, okay, it's the headings. All right, so I will delete this. I'll just import the project file, and then I'm going to rename highlight comp, enter T lower third. So instead of creating this project file, I'm just going to copy the name. I've now imported it, and I'm also not going to create this asset. What I am going to do, I'm going to put it back. So let's pretend I've just imported it, okay? I've just imported it. We have no other folders in here. Let's just pretend we have no other folders in here, okay? So this is what we've just imported. Oh no, it isn't, damn it. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Or is it? This is the lower third. I guess it's this, right? When I imported it, I imported this title. Okay, now I've imported it correctly. All right, the final is this. Okay, so it was this actually. That's fine. Let's just get rid of this. So now I've imported it, and we are pretending that there are no other files. All right. So now I can actually rename the folder as well. So this folder is now, let's see. I guess I want to drag these two out. Do I need any solids? Yeah, there is a solid in here. Is there though? Wait a second, because this is the template that I created. Yeah, this is the Adobe stock template. That's not the one that you would have gotten out of my class. This is the one you would have gotten out of my class. So let's assume it's this, and we don't have this. Delete. We only have main and this title. Okay, cool. Right, yeah, so this is the final. So now what we're going to say is... Why is this final? What is this final? Damn it. I'm getting confused with my own thing. Damn it. Okay. No, I don't need this. I don't need this. Okay, so yeah, here we are. Okay, so let's assume this is what we copied in. And now we're going to use this file. Well, I guess you could just open this title sequence, this title template, and just rename it instead of doing all of this kind of stuff that I'm taking you through. But let's just assume you're doing it like this. All right. So you've imported it, you highlighted it. No, well, first you would say, all right, let's... What is this for? This is not used anywhere. Why is this in here? I think I need to start from scratch, actually. Yeah, let me start from scratch. So if somebody was to create a new project in After Effects, they have nothing in here, all right? So what they want is to import something. And I want to save it as this project. What? Oh, I just imported that. No, I don't want to import this. Sorry. I want to save it as this project. Cool. Now I want to import that project that I told you to import, which would have approximately been this one. Then you toggle down. I'm going to delete this. No, yes. So realistically, highlight, okay, toggle open. No, twirl down, folder, drag and drop, pre-comps. This is why I'm making these notes, because if I was to just record this, what you just saw me do with the back and forth and oh no, I need a new file, I need to create a folder, I need to create this composition, now I've done something different, I'm changing my mind, that would already all be happening on screen while I'm recording, and then I would have to cut that out and make sense out of it. So what you just saw is all the things that I'm thinking about and writing down to get a structured narrative into the class that would otherwise not be there if I wouldn't have made these notes. So, you know, just to give you an idea of what my class or what my editing process would be like if I didn't make these notes beforehand. So now I can kind of get my thoughts in order, write things down in the correct way to really understand how I want to approach this project. And I'm just checking if anybody's out there, because I have a feeling that nobody's watching. But that's okay. This will live on YouTube afterwards, so that's not a problem. Actually, I just realized that I didn't add this live stream to my list of live streams, so they're actually not viewable on the link that I provided on Instagram Live. So this goes in here and work watching. There we go. Now it's on the list. Meta. All right, let's go back. Where were we? Here, the info. Oh, I should probably close this live stream because it's gonna take my bandwidth. Gonna close the other ones too. All right. So, twirl down, folder, drag and drop, pre-comps and solids. So then I want to highlight this and then delete the rest. Because then I don't need anything else apart from this, okay? So then I would delete this in class. But for the purpose of these notes, I'm also going to add in my original lower third, which is gonna live here. So now I have the correct approach. Then I'm going to twirl down pre-comps and then rename that. Twirl down, folder, pre-comps. And then highlight comp, enter, and rename. And this is now lower third, because we're not going to create or recreate most of the expressions that we've already created. So the way this is created is that I can keep writing, and eventually, oh, I didn't add that in the previous one. Okay, so what I didn't add in the previous one is that it stops writing, it stops getting larger past a point. So I'm going to add that in this class. So I think that's the first thing that I want to tackle. But I think I want to address some of the things that are happening here. So I have a protected region here. That's a protected region. So I probably want to explain that. So for those that weren't following the previous class, or maybe just as a reminder of what's going on in this class. So then I want to open comp. Alright, so what I've written here is, and I also want to keep the same formatting, I want to explain what protected regions are. And what they are is they protect the keyframes that are on these inside of the protected region. So the same thing applies if I use this template inside of After Effects. When I drag these protected regions, they stay the same size, and only everything that is outside of the protected region, so here the part that isn't blue, it stretches. So the timing of this animation stays the same, and this timing that I squashed here, that changes. So maybe I should use those words, the timing changes. So the blue markers you can see on the timeline are protected regions. I should probably add commas just so I can read that in a nice flow. The blue markers you can see on the timeline are protected regions, and also I tend to read what I've written out loud so that it sounds okay in my head and for listeners. Protected regions act as barriers for shrinking and stretching a mogurt in the project in Premiere Pro. This means the animation inside the protected regions will not be affected by time remapping, and the timing of the keyframes will stay the same, whereas regions outside of the protected regions, whereas frames outside of the protected regions will be stretched or shrunk, can be prolonged or shortened. So I'm using a few different words to mean the same thing in case somebody who's not a native English speaker can grasp what I'm saying. So I'm kind of repeating the same thing 2 or 3 times with different words so that the meaning comes across, that you can grasp at least one of the meanings of these words. So the blue markers you can see on the timeline are protected regions. Protected regions act as barriers for shrinking and stretching a mogurt in Premiere Pro. This means the animation inside the protected regions will not be affected by time remapping. Actually, that's 2 words. And the timing of the keyframes will stay the same, whereas frames outside of the protected regions can be prolonged or shortened. Okay, that still sounds a little bit complicated. I think I might want to make that a little bit clearer. This means the in animation inside the protected region maybe will stay the same and be unaffected by, what did I cut out? Will be unaffected by maybe timing changes, whereas frames outside of the protected regions can be prolonged or shortened. I think that's a little bit clearer. I'm going to save that. And while I'm talking, I think I want to drag and drop comp, new comp, squash, stretch, comp, timeline. So this means while I'm saying that little bit, I will do what I just showed you. I drag this onto the new comp button, which creates a comp, which I have to open open comp, and then go to the timeline, and then I will squash and stretch this and kind of show that the timing didn't change. Okay, so that's great. Then I can remove that. And then I will delete the extra comp. Okay, after that, I will open comp and show title type long text, because I think the first thing I want to do is show that in the current setup, when I changed the title to something longer, it gets cut off by the screen, or it gets cut off in that frame. So now what I want to do is create a expression where it shrinks down when it reaches a certain maximum. So I'd like to do that. And also, there's something else. I'm going to open the Essential Graphics panel, and there's the size of the text. Okay. Just want to check a few things, but yeah, that seems fine. Okay, then I would show that and say, okay, in the next lesson, we're going to tackle this. Yeah, I think that's how I would like to do it. So this is the first lesson, and then I would save a new copy, and then that would be the next lesson. Auto resize title. I think that could be a good name for a lesson. Okay, and then I would need to check how I did that. Because I have the title, and actually, oh yeah, one thing before I do that, I probably want to grab, I want to grab it and put it in the position. Okay, so before we do that, I want to control drag. No, it's the position, and I want the position to be at this position. Let's say 550 by 850. Okay. So I want to go in here, and I want to take the control, and I want to move this to 550 by 830. Because this is a lower third now, and eventually there's going to be some changes to, as you can see, the subtitle is part of the line, so that's going to have to change as well. But first, let's start with this. Yep. Okay, so before we jump into the next thing, position 550 times 850. Actually, maybe I'll do that first. Okay, I'm going to save this as the previous comp again. I want to overwrite that. Yes. And then I'm gonna overwrite it as this one again. All right. So we're now at this position. So I've tested, the text is too long. We come to the next lesson. And I'm going to create a note for that. So that's lesson 4. Expression for auto resize title. I'm pretty sure I have that in this original example. I think it's on the scale property. No, it isn't. Let's see what expressions exist in here. I'm pretty sure there is something like this in here. So if I start typing a really long thing, it doesn't start getting... Oh, yeah, I remember. It's not supposed to start getting smaller. It's supposed to... It is supposed to get... it's supposed to start getting smaller, but for some reason it's not introduced to this, which I find very, very strange. Okay, yeah, I remember. So it's supposed to, when it's right aligned, it's supposed to go to a certain degree and only right to the left. But then once it arrives there, it then starts writing left and it goes off screen. So it's a very specific way of doing this. I will stick with this because the way I've set it up is there is the global control, and when I move this to the right, it recognizes that it's at the right and then starts writing to the left. So it's a very clever way of positioning to, well, switching between left aligned and right aligned. But it does have the downsides that it doesn't have the containment, but nonetheless, I might decide that I do 2 options, that I'm doing this option with the left and right aligned, and maybe I'll add the option of the scale down property, because I've used that before. I wonder if I can use both options on this or if it's going to break my code, but I would like to include that because I don't like the fact that it's running off frame. So yeah, let's see. Let's see. Okay, so basically what I've done here is I added an expression to the anchor point. And that expression, this one has a source rect at time expression that makes the anchor point centered, which is all good and well, but it uses a similar thing actually. It uses the same thing actually. So now I don't remember. Oh, it's the position. Wait. No, the position is dependent on the it's the checkbox control for the subtitle. So when you turn the subtitle on and off, it jumps to the center of the control. That's a different thing. But where does... I forget how I did the math on this. And also, why is there an anchor... why is there a keyframe? I think the keyframe is wrong. don't remember how I did this. That's the problem. Sometimes you just forget. So I wonder if I take this off, what will happen with this? No, that still works. So the anchor point here has nothing to do with that. I forget what the reason for this is, how I made this happen. I don't remember how I did that. There's a clamp on here, okay. That's a different thing. Padding, margin. Those are just numbers. Alignment. But I think I turned this off, right? Yeah, this is no longer linked to anything, I don't think. Can probably delete that. Damn it, I don't remember how I set this up. That's the problem. This is for the box, so for the frame of the text. Maybe it is the anchor point. No, but it isn't the anchor point. Maybe it's the position of the control. Yeah, it must be the position of the control. No, but this only has a clamp. Huh. Maybe it is the position. I'm gonna need to consult the tutorial that I got this particular piece of expression from. I found this expression on the Ukramedia YouTube channel, who create very cool After Effects tutorials, and they taught me how to do this. I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it has something to do with this, the position. I mean, I've added a clamp on here so that when I use this in here in the global positioning, it doesn't go past a certain number, so it doesn't go past this 533. See? There's a clamp here, but I'm pretty sure the margin number that I'm using here, this math that I'm using here, has something to do with this. The X size divided by 2 plus margin, and then comp width minus X size divided by 2 minus margin. I'm pretty sure it's got something to do with that. Yeah, let's have a look. So let's go to the Ukramedia YouTube channel, and as you can see, they have so many cool tutorials. You should definitely go and check them out. I think it was part of this and it's part of the lower third. Yep, so over here they create, from the title, they create a lower third. And then they position it and then they add, exactly. So here they're talking about the fact if you make it too long, it goes in both directions, but you actually want it to be left and right aligned. And okay, yep, so it is to do with the position of the control. Okay, cool. Ooh, that's my break alarm. I should take a break from the screen, but I'll do that in just a moment. So the X position is at 0. Okay. I'll just switch the microphone. No, it's fine. Okay, so yeah, so it is this math that I was talking about. It's taking the transformation position of this control layer, then the size, X size, which is X size is the width of the text, divided by 2. So you get the center of the text because that's where the controller is, at the center of the text, plus margin. Margin is a slider here, which is 150. So if I remove this margin, oh, why didn't that do anything? Oh, if I move this margin, this controller moves, but nothing moves with the controller, which is very strange. That is very, very strange. What controller is this controlled by? By this. So surely, if I change the margin, so I've changed something here, and I'm not sure what and how this is affected. So right now everything is attached to this controller, and it's moving with the controller, but this has its own position. This has its own position properties, which is why it's not being affected. Huh. Else. I think what I need to do is yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay, so what I have done here is the position changes depending on the checkbox, the subtitle control checkbox. But this expression actually only needs to be on the Y position, because the Y position changes depending on if there is a subtitle or not. But that's fine. That doesn't matter. because this is still being controlled. This is still working, but I forgot how it's working. So let's hear Sergey explain how it's supposed to work, because I forgot.
You can see and push this here, and then we're gonna move it to, I don't know, like right about here. Now the only problem that we have right now, if you change the name, you can see it's sizing it from the center, and that I do not want. I want it to size from this left corner. So to do that, we're going to do some expressions. So we're going to split this position property, click on it, and then separate dimensions. So we're going to split both of them into separate sliders. So now we have slider for X and slider for Y. So we're going to be adjusting the X. I'm going to set it to 0, actually. So 0. You can see it's at the like a half of the shape, right? So what I want to do, I want to take the half of the shape and push this lower third. And to do that, I'm going to select this text shape, press E to reveal all the properties. And we're going to be linking to this X size. So from this X position, I'm going to alt click on the stopwatch, and I'm going to pick whip to this X size.
Okay, so what I have my X size in the controller. So this is my X size. And if I go in there, this should have just the width of the title 1 width and the title 2 width, right? So what this expression says is be the size of either MathMax says whichever one is larger, be the size of that. And then I have padding on top of that. And so the title, it's finding which title. Title 2 is actually the subtitle. Title 1 is the title. And then it says the title width is whatever the title size is. And that includes if the title is being scaled or not. So that's this expression. Cool. And I added padding so that if I didn't have padding here, you'll immediately see that now it's exactly the size of the text, which I obviously don't want. I want padding. Cool. So that's that X size, which I've linked from the box, from this outline. It's this basically, I've linked it to a slider on my controller because I like to have all of my controllers on one controller layer. I don't like to have them on different layers like Sergey from Ukramedia does. So I do it a little bit differently, but it's the same process.
Say divide by 2. So watch what happens. So
all right. Okay, so we are talking about the position of this here. So the X size is that X size slider, and I've added a clamp, which is fine. So the X size divided by 2. So if I remove the margin here, it should jump to the 0 point here, but it isn't doing that. I know why, because I know that the position of the title text is logged through this expression. Okay, tell you what, I'm gonna turn this expression off and see what happens when I change the margin here. Plus nothing. So that doesn't change, you see? So that's very, very strange. I'm not really sure. Okay, right. So it is still calculating the X size, but because I've added a clamp, it's doing other things. So what if I do plus margin? Okay, and my margin is over here. And when I change my margin, it's this. Okay, right. So it is doing what I wanted to be doing. I think I understand. I think I understand this clamp now. It doesn't get affected when I change the margin for some reason. Because I guess I clamped, the clamp overrides something here with the margin and everything. Which is fine. I think it's still doing its job. Transform position 0. I wonder what transform position 0 is, though. Because surely that should be, 0. It doesn't seem to be at 0. But regardless, I really need to understand, and sometimes even if I've created a project like this, the second time around, I learn how to optimize that project. So even though I set it up like this time, I actually might want to do it differently for the class, especially since I don't know if I want to actually include the clamp. So what I'll need to do here, so this is for the it's for the position of the control, which so far doesn't have anything on it, so that's fine. And I can separate the dimensions, that's also fine. Actually, maybe it's 555. 555. Doesn't make a difference. Okay, 550 is fine then. Yeah. I'm gonna have to make some changes, but I do need a little bit of a break. So I think I'm gonna take that break now, and then I will be back to continue the preparation of this class. All right. All right, I'm back. Let's start with this. The first thing I need is the position with the x size divided by 2, right? That's what Sergey is mentioning. And then I want a bit of a margin. He's using value for that, but I want to use margin for that.
Locked in to this side. All right, so now that we have...
Yeah, so he's using margin, but I want this number to be a variable number, and I don't want to access the actual position of the controller at all. I want to use a slider that adds this additional value. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into my position, X position. So the first thing I did is go to the controller. I'll probably need to write a little bit of an introduction of what we're going to do. And also at the end of each class, I want to say, next, we will add a left-right alignment to the subtitle. And actually, I said with this long text, actually, I'm going to remove that because I'm not sure I'm going to add the bracketing or the kind of the shrinking when this text reaches a certain width. I'm going to focus on the left-right alignment. Okay, so next we will add a left-right alignment to the lower third, and yeah, okay. When we start typing in changing the text in our title, it is center aligned and eventually goes off screen. We can add an expression to change the alignment paragraph. I think it's a paragraph alignment depending on how far left or right the lower third is sitting on screen. I might have to rephrase that. I don't know how clear that is, but basically I'm control layer, position, P for position, and then right click, separate dimensions, Alt plus click X, and then we're going to write an expression, and the expression is X size divided by 2. Actually, we're going to start with X size. No. What does he start with? He starts with X size, right? X size divided by 2. But currently X size doesn't mean anything. Oh, yeah, right. X size doesn't mean anything because this expression doesn't know what X size is, but I know what X size is. And X size is this. So first I need to point to that, and I'm going to toggle the viewer lock. Okay, I'm going to write that down. Separate dimension, Alt click X. Actually, before I do that, toggle viewer, actually control effects, and it's not effects and presets, it's effects controls, toggle viewer lock, and then I'm going to go to the position, separate dimension, alt click on X, and then I'm going to write X size equals, and in my case I'm going to pick whip that to this controller, semicolon, yes, semicolon, and then I'm going to say X size divided by 2. Yay. So now it's at 0. Cool. And we already have a margin, which we're also going to add, but first, all right. So first I'm going to show, okay, at X size, oh, well, that's weird. X size is 860. Oh, wait. I think his X size is something different. It's the shape. It's the X size, the shape. Text shape X size. But my text shape X size is 890, which is the width of my text. Oh no. So now I'm wondering what I'm misunderstanding with the X size. Because it should be 0. And why isn't it? Oh, he never says X size.
And then I'm going to say divide by 2. So watch what happens. So it...
Okay, right. So we're never actually seeing where the X size is. Okay, so we're directly going to X size divided by 2. All right. So that means this is control is the distance away from the screen as wide as many pixels as is the half of the size of the box. Wow, that's going to be so difficult to explain. Okay. All right. So this is what I want to include. This is what I want to write. Okay. So for those that have taken the class a while back, or for those who have never taken the class and are only using the asset, I need to explain what X size is. So the X size is the width of the title text but is there a padding already on there? Okay, let me see. The X size has some padding, right? No, okay, so the X size is the width of the frame around the text, which is calculated by the title width plus a padding slider with the padding slider set to 50 pixels. Whoa. Okay, so control face, toggle viewer lock position. X size is the width of the frame around the text, which is calculated by the title width plus a padding slider set to 50 pixels. This gives us a width of if we divide that number by 2, the lower third will sit at the edge of the screen. To move it away from the screen edge, we can add another variable by adding a margin. I think that's clear. Is that clear? X size is the width of the frame. X size is a slider that calculates the width of the frame around the text. The frame width is in turn calculated by the title width plus a padding slider set to 50 pixels. If we divide the X size number by 2, the lower third will sit at the edge of the screen. To move it away from the screen edge, we can add another variable by adding a margin. And this control, the control layer already has a margin slider we can use, which means we will add a margin variable. Is it a variable? I forgot the terminology. Okay, so we'll add a margin, pick whip that margin, and then say plus margin. Cool. Now it's away from the side. Oh, I guess you do need to add value plus. Value plus. Because if you don't, then you can't move it, and we have to move it. We have to be able to move it. Okay, so we do need the value plus. Value plus. Okay, so I added a line about if we add value to the excise calculation, excise, not calculation, statement, we will be able to move the property left and right. If we don't, the property will stay fixed at the will stay fixed. I think that's fine. Okay, I just want to double check what I've done here is I added the margin, but I'm not adding value here. But I guess clamp kind of does what value does, because I'm able to move it from 0, which is position 0, to okay, so it's x size divided by 2 plus margin, and this comp width minus. Okay, so that's how I'm able to move this from here to there. Okay, that's fine. We're not using clamp right now, but I'm still able to move this from left to right. And now I wonder, once I have done that, is it now going to do the alignment already? Whoops, that was the wrong one. Oh, global position doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I guess that's something I have to address as well, because I've separated global position. So maybe I won't separate global position then. Okay. All right. So I won't separate the position, actually. Alt click. What I'll do is value 1. All right. I think I should be able to do it like this. Oh no, that doesn't work. What's the problem? I think an array can't expand to more than one value. Right. Okay, then this will be divided by 2. X size. Yeah, I think this is why I used clamp, to be honest, because it's having trouble with this value stuff. Divided by 2. Maybe I can add the math in here. No, it doesn't like this. So I guess I am going to have to do the clamp somehow. I think maybe that's why I used clamp after all, so I could move it from left to right. Okay, I'm gonna have to think about this a little bit more, because currently it doesn't work the way I want it to. The reason I don't want to split up the dimensions of the position is because I want to keep this as a singular global size, and that's not going to be possible if I split this up. So I'm gonna have to rethink this. I'm going to undo. I'm going to split it for now. Keep keep this as is for now. And then, yeah, then we'll see how I'm going to do that. Because right now, yeah, it definitely works. So I'm gonna have to rethink that approach. But, yeah, at least I got a head start on this and I stopped procrastinating on doing this class. As you can see, there's quite a few steps that I need to go through for a class to be finished, which is why I can't produce a class every week, because it takes quite a bit of time and I also have other projects going on. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this look into my class making and my class preparation. If you did, please give it a like, and if you would like to see more of this or would like to support me, subscribe and follow on all the platforms. Yeah, and I hope to see you next time. I am streaming my regular stream tomorrow. I don't know what that stream is going to be. It's either going to be continuing my Inktober challenge digital drawing, or it might be this. I don't know yet. I'll let you know on my socials, so make sure to check those. Until then, I hope to see you next time. Bye!